So Andrew Tate, aka the Top G, and the G stands for going to jail, is currently suing smaller influencers who he claims are a part of the Matrix and have been sent by the Matrix to stop him from telling the truth in Bugattis, right? And one of these individuals he's coming after is a guy that I've grown an affinity for because he has provided a lot of the content for, our Candy Apple, Qatari Owens videos, our Tehran Tucker videos, and even an Andrew Tate video here or there. Right. He has provided some of the most succinct, put together, he's clipped videos. He's gone out there, done the due diligence. Man who goes by the name of Milk Bar TV, but his real name is Nathan Livingston, and is actually somebody I'm interested in sitting down with and talking to. Anyway, I wanted to bring this video up of him explaining basically what's taking place right now as far as these lawsuits. But before we get into that, I want to give a little bit more context. Why do we care? Why should you care at all? Well, if you don't, you don't, right? If you don't care, you simply don't. But if you're somebody who cares about the truth, somebody who sees what's going on as far as the landscape of media, new media, and how it seems like there's an infiltration. There are individuals who are more destructive and dangerous than maybe even old school media. We all know they lied to us, but we're trusting in the word of these people who seem genuine. They're these influencers, etc. And I'm in that space, so you should be questioning me as much as anybody else. But if you care about that and you see how dangerous a lot of the things that these people are saying and essentially, pushing as their ideology is, then you care. And Andrew is one of those guys who has, in his own words, convicted himself of some of the most heinous sort of crimes against humanity, right? This is a guy who is a self-proclaimed digital PIMP. That's him. He literally calls his little course or whatever it is, the PhD, PIMPing HO3s or 304s degree. Pimping degree. That's him. The guy who is openly proclaimed to choking the hell out of women in order to control them, and even the manipulative tactics that he uses in order to, kind of coercively get into their lives and get them to work for him in this, digital harem of sorts. So that being said, I believe this man to be at the very least capable of doing the things that he's been convicted of in the highest courts of the land, whether it's in Romania, the UK, or, I think some of them are trickling into the United States at this point. But this man has used this narrative of the Matrix is out to get me. And I believe that was an extremely intelligent, and that's saying a lot for a guy like Andrew, but extremely intelligent, deceptively discerning, because discernment can also be used in the negative way of getting ahead of a story, right? You've done certain things, certain crimes. And so you put out to your audience, whoever will listen, that they're going to come after me. They're going to come after me, right? It's kind of like you've got a body. Let me hope that you don't. Please don't have a body. You should never have a body. But let's say you have a body. It's in the backyard, wherever else you may have put it, storage unit. And you know that you're going to be got soon, right? It's all over for you. So instead of letting yourself get got and the story going out that way, you tell the world that they're going to come after you. They're going to frame you. They're going to, put you in this compromised position, etc. And that you have warned your people. The Matrix, right? The system is coming after me. Now, this works infinitely better because we have come out of a period of time where there was a lot of government corruption within our government. Not to say that it's anything new necessarily, but he can tie it to say, look, see, there was censorship. There was this. Look what the Biden administration did. Look what, we were deplatformed, debanked, etc. COVID, right? We can get into all these sort of subjects, and you can take that and then place it upon him to say, well, he must be a part of that entire, same onslaught of this attack on our freedom of speech and, our overall freedoms as people. When in truth, this is a devious, diabolical, dare I say, criminal-minded individual, a psychopath in the truest sense, who was using this, and now he's looking to, to sue our guy Nate over here and a few other people in order to, I believe, is to silence them, to do the thing he's accusing the Matrix of doing to him. So let's go ahead.
Andrew Tate has now publicly claimed that I, an Australian father who makes social media videos on many topics, and others he is suing, are somehow working for British intelligence.
If you've been paying attention, you'll see I'm currently engaged in about 15 lawsuits. And all of these accounts that were constantly slandering me, insulting me, were psyops. They were getting paid by British intelligence services.
I can tell you, I don't work for the British government.
This was a setup from the highest level of MI5. It was the Brits.
The people named in this lawsuit.
It's literally just a guy on X posting videos. Like, that's the funniest thing to me. I get this accusation all the time, right? If I speak well on the Jews, he's Mossad, he's paid off by, Israel, Bibi, etc. So it's kind of like par for the course at this time. And it works for people who may very well be compromised, right? Who are actually being paid off by these governments, etc.
Individuals with disabilities, survivors of abuse, and ordinary citizens.
This whole thing was a setup head to toe because they were scared I was going to overthrow an election in the UK.
What we've done is shared court documents, social media posts, Andrew Tate's own videos to bring awareness to the criminal cases. But while his claim may sound ridiculous, the lawsuit itself is very serious. Andrew Tate has openly talked about targeting critics with his lawsuits.
I don't care if it costs me $1 million to take $1,000 out of your bank. You're going to be in court twice a month for the rest of your human years. I don't care. I will sue you for any and every reason forever. And you're going to have to hire lawyers and turn up forever. I will do that. I'm that guy. I'm petty. I'm petty, and I've got a lot of money and a lot of time.
And this is the thing with a guy like Andrew that I do appreciate. Not a personal appreciation, but he gives you the weapons that you will use to destroy him, in essence, right? He arms his enemies, and his enemies are, I believe, just, individuals who are not necessarily fond of criminals, scammers, liars, deceivers. I'm damn near getting a Andrew accent going on over here. My goodness. Yeah. He tells you what he's doing. He puts it on video. He airs it out to the rest of the world. So right there, he is telling you that he is strategically looking to silence anybody who is disagreeing with him in any form of fashion. This was my assumption before we even got into this video, is that, this is a guy who is likely looking to bankrupt smaller influencers, bankrupt everyday people. That's his character showing as much as anything else. If you had no other information to base it on, you could point to that. And he calls it pettiness, but I believe it's a fragile ego of, the narcissist. I believe that's what that is. And, narcissism is oftentimes belittled, or it's overused, or I guess it's undervalued, or it's underappreciated just how dangerous these people can actually be. They say that there's 3 to maybe 5% of the population that is actual malignant narcissists. So, when you hear somebody talking about, oh, every one of my exes was a narcissist, like, wow, you really have a type if you're able to get to that part of the population. Many people have narcissistic tendencies, but that's different than the psychopathic individuals who build their way into these powerful positions in order to control, manipulate, and coerce. And I believe beyond that he has psychopathic tendencies, which isn't every narcissist. Every narcissist doesn't have psychopathic tendencies. But a guy who will, put the beats on a woman on video and then talk about how you must do that to women in order to, make them obey you or whatever it is. A guy who is reckless in not just his speech, but his actions. A guy who is willing to tell you on one side he is helping young men to be freed from, the evils of corn. On the other hand, is then selling it to young men and being a manager of those who are, creating this sort of content, while also robbing those girls of their money and lying to them about taxes because you're taking it to Bitcoin. These are all words from him. I can't make this stuff up. This is literally words that have come from this guy's mouth. And there are people who will defend him, the cult of personality that he has cultivated over time, that just can't seem to break themselves away from Mr. Bugatti.
So it's not even about guilty. It's not about why. It's just about because I can.
Legal costs are already piling up, and we urgently need your help to fight this in court. Every contribution goes directly to securing strong legal representation so we can defend our right to speak openly and report on publicly available information without fear. Please donate at truthversustate.com.
So yeah, I'm gonna make sure that link is below, so we can go ahead and and put some money in the basket for our brother over here, because he is doing very important work. And I don't say that about everybody, right? There are people that I pinpoint and choose to, platform on my own platform, etc. But he's doing incredibly important work on a consistent basis. And he is being targeted, as you heard, directly from the horse's mouth because of the work that he's doing. Andrew doesn't care about truth. All he cares about is that he's being smeared due to who he is. He's being exposed. To hell with Spear. He's being exposed for who he is. And now he's pissed off about it. And I don't know if I'm going to, be on the other side of one of these cases. Maybe, maybe not. I know what comes with what I do. When you are actually exposing evil people, they have evil motives and intentions. If they have the necessary capital, they will look to shut you up and silence you. And when they're being sued for the things that they're actually doing, they'll spin that narrative in any sort of way that they desire. But I believe that Andrew Tate is a very dangerous person, physically, emotionally, mentally. And that these sort of actors, these characters that have emerged out of the digital landscape, out of, the digital world, they're going to be more dangerous than yesterday's politician or celebrity, whatever, because they have more influence. They have more of a grasp on the minds and hearts of young people and grown people. But the young people, the amount of youngsters, I just heard an NBA player talking about, sometimes he'll turn on some Andrew Tate around a girl that he's trying to, get in a situation with, just to see how she responds and reacts. And I'm like, damn, you've got 20-something-year-old NBA players listening to this fool, pushing the message of, oh, we just listened to this guy. No, but he saved so many lives. He's helped. Okay, let's take Andrew and let's take Jordan Peterson, right? Two guys who you can say have, quote unquote, had saved people's lives, impacted many young people's lives. One guy professes to be a professor, an academic, and the other professes to be a PIMP, who is trying to teach other men how to sell young women. Which one of those two is more credible? Because we have this whole, the messenger doesn't necessarily matter. No, the messenger matters. Because when you have people who have ulterior motives, they will use a right or good message in order to bring the lie about. Do you think that the little mustache man came in with just one message, one-sided, no other angle? As if he didn't have the for the people, by the people. Let's create a car for our people so they can have a national car, the VW. He was a socialist, a national socialist. Our people, the system will take care of you. Yeah. 10 years later, you're looking around you like, what the just happened? That's how these malevolent sort of characters, that's how they portray, that's how they put themselves out there, is benevolence. I am good. I'm here to help you. The system is against me, us. So it creates a us versus them narrative that then allows them to have a stronger grasp onto their audience. And anytime something happens, it's, the system. It's just like David Koresh and the Davidians, I guess you would call them, right? Or Koreshians, his cult. Every day he would tell him and remind him that Armageddon is on the way, that the end time is coming. So when the police did crack his door down, when ATF and FBI show up, you can justify that. You can write that off as, see, this is what we have been saying has been in prophecy from day one, using and coercing and manipulating through that doctrine. So yeah, we need to start airing these people out even more so, because we have the power to essentially have them be. There's one thing with the justice system, laws, put them in prison. But the impact and influence somebody can have is like Tupac. I believe Tupac was a net negative on the world because of his actual messaging and how he portrayed it. Oh, but he did Dear Mama. This is a man who pushed a thug mentality. He pushed the same ignorance he proclaimed to be, standing up against in half of his other records. No. The character, the man, the portrayal of this individual was more dangerous because it made more thugs, more young men who wanted to be gangster. So it was a net negative on the black community and the overall community. Pac was martyr. He became a martyr of sorts. Pac was taken out because of a fight that he got in with a gang member where people told him don't do it. But he did it because he wanted to show that he was down. Those are the facts. Well, the FBI was this. Well, the people will tell you what they did and why they did it. So he will become a martyr as he is sent into prison for the things he actually did. And there'll be those who believe he didn't do what he did. But information is going to be the most powerful thing. Revelation is going to be the most powerful thing to dethrone this person from a place of power. He's not as relevant as he once was. That's obvious. Not even close. But still has enough influence to have enough impact on enough people. Now, I believe the British government is in shambles right now. The UK is in shambles. But the last person you want isn't Andrew Tate. He's the same. He's Starmer on steroids to the far right. He's going to be worse for the entire the algorithm that is life. He's going to be worse for it. He's going to be worse. Significantly worse. And mind you, this is a man who professes to be a Muslim. So, he probably would have no problem in perpetuating the very same mass invasion that's been taking place there. So, yeah, let's make sure to look out for our buddy. Again, hopefully we get to sit down with him and see what's going on his side of things. But I hope he doesn't stop doing what he does. I really do. Like me, I know that I don't know what's in front of me. I don't know what lays in front of me. I don't know if these people are going to want to, slander me in some way. I don't care because I believe God is on my side. I look for the truth and that's it. It's not my opinion on the basis of just opinion. I just feel some type of way. Like I told myself, if I'm ever in a place where I'm hateful or vengeful or spiteful or something like that, then don't do it. Don't speak from a place of hatred. Shout out to Winston Churchill. He was quoted as saying, and I might butcher this a little bit, but he said, I never hated a man except for the little mustache man. And even that is strictly professional. Even the little mustache man, the villain of all villains in modern day Western society or civilization. That man was hated because of what he was doing and why he was doing it. It was calculated. It was, we need to remove this threat that is imminent. It's not just a hate to hate. Oh, I hate you. That's the hate that the little mustache man held for, much of the people who weren't like himself. Likely had hatred for himself, but that's a conversation for another day. Till the next time. Peace. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace. Aquarius. Where? I've been up for hours, I've been up for days, staring at the ceiling, I've been counting strays, I've been in my feelings, I've been out of mind, I've been getting visions of the other kind, I've been up for weeks, I'm in the count of blessings over count of sheep, I can never be the type to limit when it comes to me, I used to be the pleaser for the